that doesn't sound good. Hello and welcome back to another Budget and Leggit video. Now we have this 2008 Skoda Fabia 1.6 automatic, which is important. I'll explain that in a minute, with a bad engine. Now, as we all know, these, especially the 3 cylinders, suffer very badly with valves and all sorts of stuff. This is the 4 cylinder, but they also suffer with timing chain slipping and all sorts, and that's what I think is essentially happened here. We've got multiple misfire codes. I'm not going into it too much because I know the engine, there's just no point fixing it. I know people are going to say fix it rather than replace it, but no, this has done 244,000 kilometers. I've got an engine with 49,000 on it, and it's just going to be so much quicker, easier and cheaper to replace it than it is to fix this. These are also specific to the automatics. Now, I think there is a couple of different 1.6 engines, but if you've got an automatic, you need a 1.6 automatic. This is TSB, the engine code, but from the research I've done, there is subtle differences. I'm not 100% sure what the differences are, but I've got another one from an automatic. Now, my van at the minute is still getting sprayed. It's in my friend's place, so all my tools, all my main tools are there. So I've got very, very limited tools here. And I'm still in the middle of spraying it, but I'm going to be able to do a little bit of work on this as I'm getting ready to spray the van, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do a little bit of work on this, get it ready, take off the bonnet, just do a few kind of simple things, take off air boxes, take out batteries, try and take all the wiring off, get it ready to make it easier for me in the next few days to actually take the engine out. Sorted. This is the engine I've got, and as you can see, this thing just really annoys me. They've cut it off there. The pipe comes another 3 or 4 inches this way, and it's right onto the expansion bottle. Why not just disconnect it? Why not just disconnect it? Anyway, I know that's what scrapyards do, but it's so frustrating. Cutting them here, it's just, why? Anyway, 49,000 on that. Oh look, I've still got my Feronius welder inside the van too. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to try and get a lot of it ready to put this bad boy in, and fingers crossed this one's alright. I'm going to take off a lot of stuff off camera because I've done ways before where I've speeded up the video and I've put like a time lapse and I've put music over it, and I got a lot of issues. People didn't like the music, so I've also then done videos where I haven't put the music on. They said they would prefer not to put the music on, and it's very boring, and I've got a lot of people saying I should have put music on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just not going to do the time lapse. I'm going to take off the bonnet, I'm going to take off the air filter, take out the battery, and then we'll see what we got left. Mostly take off the manifold. That seems pretty easy. Do it this side, and just try and get some of the pipes. This is the pipe they cut off here, by the way, just an extra few inches and it goes to there. And anyway, look, it is what it is. And just do a few little things like that, getting this ready to come out. Right, now we can see a lot more. T45 Torx to get the bonnet off. Then I took the air filter and the intake off. Now there's 2 T25 Torx here, and the air filter just kind of clips in there. It pops on these little nipples sticking out, nothing too exciting there. And we can kind of see a lot more. Disconnected the airline, or the brake line, should I say, or the the word's completely gone, it'll come back to me in a second. And the brake booster line, God. And we can see the fuel lines now coming in. We can also see the radiator lines. We've got some automatic lines down there for the automatic gearbox, some wiring here for the coil packs, and also for the injectors, so we're going to take that off. And yeah, then we'll just keep taking bits off slowly. The engine's not coming out there. I've only got a few hours, but if I can, the more stuff I can take off now, the easier it's going to be for me in the next few days to actually lift this engine out. So I've disconnected all the spark plugs, taken out the coils as well, all together, the injectors, the throttle bodies. There was oil pressure sensors, there's water pressure, cam sensors, all sorts. We're also having cam issues with this, so there is cam faults with it. That's why I know that the chain is slipped or it's stretched, something like that. It's just, there's just no point going any further with that engine. We will do a full post-mortem on it and strip it all down, but I'm not gonna do any more diagnostic on it because I just know there's absolutely no point. So I'm gonna start taking off some of the water lines now, disconnect the expansion bottle, disconnect the radiator from the car, and then we can start working on the manifold. Actually, I might do the manifold first. So yeah, they have to come off. Doesn't really matter which way I do it. Oh, look at the little cute manifold. But I tell you something, it's really easy to get off. It's really easy to see all the bolts, so I'm not complaining. It's like a 4 into a 1 little 4-branch manifold, kind of. As good as you're going to get on like a car like this. But little tiny cat. Again, that's not an issue. But the bolts are really easy to get to. Let's just hope they come off easy, because sometimes manifold bolts can be an absolute nightmare to get to and they can snap. But these, to be fair, look, well, they're easy to get to. Whether they'll come off is another thing, but we'll soon find out in a few minutes. Yeah, no worries. Right, good news, they all came off, and I'm surprised all the bolts came off. None of the studs did. Normally the studs come out, but I can't move it because, as you can see, just down there, it's also bolted underneath the sump, and I'm going to get that once I go underneath. Today is just to try and remove some of it. I've only got a few hours, like I said, so next thing I'm going to do is the water bottle or the battery. I'm not 100% sure yet. Most probably the battery, just because, I don't know, yeah. As you can see, I'm really not in the mood for doing it. I'm hungry. I want to go home. I've got a lot of work to do over the next 3 or 4 days on the van. I have to get my van sorted, but I have to also get this done. It's just, oh. Right, what have I done? I've taken out the battery tray, and the ECU for the automatic gearbox. I've taken off the water pipes. I've taken off the cooler pipes for the gearbox as well, plus all the other connections and stuff. The gear linkage here, which I still need to disconnect there. And that is then, oh, the starter motor, take the wires off the starter motor and the earth wire there. That's practically, I think, everything off this side from the top. Then I'm going to have to go underneath, because I'm sure it's the knock sensor and the sensor underneath there, underneath the intake manifold that I can't see yet, to pull the wires out that way. Get underneath then and disconnect the exhaust properly, because there's bolts coming from the cap to hold the exhaust in place. Then disconnect the expansion bottle and then take it out, because I've then got to swap everything over on the engine. Like it doesn't have a throttle body or some, you know, there's a few bits taken off the engine obviously. Then what I've got to do, it's now Wednesday. I'm not going to be able to get back to this till Monday. So I'm hoping by Monday I'll have the engine and box out. I'm just taking the whole thing out because it's just easier, and then swap everything over on the ground. So by Monday I'm hoping to take this out. Tuesday then I'm going to swap all the bits around, all the wires that have been cut, all the pipes that have been cut, everything that's been cut I'm going to swap back over on the floor. Oh, I've got to disconnect the alternator wires as well. And then Wednesday stick it back in, because I've still got other things to do in the meantime. So I'm just really coming back a couple of hours to work on this, because I've still got a lot of mobile work that I need to get done. Typical, as soon as I started stripping my van, I started getting phone calls. So yeah, so what I'm going to do now is that's practically done. Just disconnect the the gear linkage cable, take the wires off the start motor, then I'm going to come to this side, take the wires off the alternator and disconnect the fuel lines and these pipes. That's all I can really do today. And then it's a case of jacking the car up, bringing my tools back over on Monday. Hopefully my van is done, because all my other tools are in the van. And then actually do this. Lovely jubbly. Do you want to know why you never lift a car from the sump? Because there is an upside. At least I don't have to drain the oil now. It's doing it automatically. Sorted. I'm gonna cry. There we go. Nice little hole in the sump. Just as well we don't need it. Well, let's hope the new sump isn't leaking, otherwise I am in trouble. Anyway, I've been wondering why I couldn't get this connection off. I've been trying to get this connection off from the top, and look, someone has broken it, but they've glued it back on. Yes, you can see the glue. Glued it back on. Great. These are the bolts I was talking about underneath for the cat, so we can undo them now. And we can actually get the manifold off, which is handy. And then it's just the 2 drive shafts the pendulum bolt, or the pendulum mount there, the two mounts at the top, and this engine and box is out. Right, I got the expansion bottle off. I've got all the other wires connections off here. I've also got the manifold off. I've got it jacked up with axle stands, and now really, which I don't have time to today, just the drive shafts and the 3 engine mounts. Oh yeah, the wires behind there, which I'll do, and also one of the heater matrix pipes. And then that is literally 3 engine, or 4, well yeah, gearbox mount, engine mount and pendulum mount. And then this thing should be able to be lifted straight up. So, we are getting there. And hopefully, we don't need a sump. A quick look at the engine. Now I know I can go in behind here and undo the bolts and then not have to take the gearbox out and all that. I understand that. But it's just going to be so much easier once it's on the floor to do these things. Sensor is really close there and I don't want to damage it. You just see it's in there. So I'm just going to take the whole thing out. It's only really drive shafts and a couple of more connections and an extra engine mount. That's all it is. It's not a big deal. So we can see they've cut the pipes here, here, and they've cut or the connection here and the pipes there and the connections here. We're missing the cap, which is not a big deal. We've got the cap on the new one. It was covered, which is good. I'm just going to take it off here and put it on there. They've cut that one. This sensor here is broke, but again, we've got it on the other one, it's the oil pressure sensor, or it could be even the temperature sensor. I think it's the oil pressure, and it doesn't matter. So that's it. Everything else looks pretty darn good on it, which is good. Oh yeah, dipstick is broke as well, but again, we've got the dipstick on the other one, so that's not really a big deal. So in all, as transport goes for an engine, not too bad. Believe me, I've seen a lot worse. The sump is good in this one too, which is obviously good because I broke the sump in that one. But again, that was my fault just for rushing. They've cut the back pipe off here as well. And yeah, they've cut all these as well. Again, not a big deal. We'll be able to, all our wiring is good. Intake manifold looks good. We use our own throttle body. All seems good. And yeah, so that's it. That's still leaking. So that's all I'm going to do for the day, and I'm going to come back Monday. A few seconds for you, 3 or 4 days for me, and then by Monday this is going to be out. And then depending on how long it takes to get out and how long I've got, I will swap everything over. I will try and do it all in one day on Monday. So take the engine out, swap everything over, all the pipes, all the broken stuff. And then I might have to wait till Wednesday or Thursday of next week, because I've got a few jobs in the meantime to come back at this. So it's going to take me over a week, but in the video it's not going to seem like that way. It's just because I've got other jobs to do, and this isn't important in that sense. It's not a customer's vehicle, it is my own. So there we go, that's the sensor that's broke. So what I might do is I might take that off now, because I don't want that to get broke. So that's what I'll do. I'll take that off now so it can't swing and actually get broke, because we need that. Lovely. Fuck. I was lucky. Seriously lucky. Just bent that a little bit. I can straighten that and straighten that. The radiator, the chassis leg, the wing, the headlights. Oh, I broke that. Wow. Wow, that could have been a lot worse. If I had it through there, it wasn't this that gave the actual seatbelt. It slipped. The angle was too much and it slipped under here. If I had it there, it would never have gone. It was just my own fault. But hey, I'm honest to show everything. At the end of the day, I'll straighten that back up, just push that up a little bit. No damage is done. You'll never know apart from the video. Wow, we were lucky. Anyway, the engine is out. Oh. Right, okay, after viewing the actual footage, I can see exactly what happened. It was the top that went off, not the bottom like I thought. So it was the top where the hook was. And what was actually seriously lucky is that it fell on the impact gun, because that's what stopped the engine going further on top of the wing and possibly the headlight and possibly the windscreen. So it was the actual impact gun that actually saved it. And if you look further back on the video, you'll see I tie the second part to the first rope as well as over the hook. You'll see that in the other part of the video. That's what I should have done first, and then obviously put it through the hook as well rather than actually put it through the engine mount. But anyway, like I said, I am honest. I showed it. Things happen. It's the real world. I'm not going to hide anything. Sorted. Right, yeah, seriously lucky. So it would have been a lot worse if the gearbox fell, because it could have broken an awful lot. At the end of the day, it was just the engine, which we didn't mind. But we were lucky because, as you can see, I just lifted up that by hand. There's just a little dint there, or sorry, here, which I can just get a hammer and dolly. You'd never know. I've just lifted up that by hand, and there's 3 little dints there. That's literally it. The engine actually fell on the mount, so absolutely no damage done to anything else, which I was seriously lucky. I could have broke the windscreen. I could have just done so much damage. I could have bent the wing, the inner wing. It could have just been horrible. I was just rushing, not taking my time. My own fault. I just really needed to get this done and rushing. Lucky enough, it was my own car, so it doesn't really matter. But hey, I'm honest, I show it. I could edit it out, you'll never ever know. But we don't roll that way, do we? So the engine is now out. I've got to transfer everything over. Gearbox, I've taken off the the alternator. I can't put that back in. I can't put the throttle body back in. So all I've really got to do is just swap over the gearbox and then put the engine back in. And I'm going to do it slightly differently this time. So yeah, sorted. So look, we'll call it for this video, and we will yeah, I'll get the engine in and I'll film a few little bits with it going in and it starting and all that good stuff. So that's it. So look, I'm honest. I know I'm going to get grief in the comments, but I'm honest. I'm ready for it. No damage has happened, which is absolutely seriously lucky. It is what it is. Look, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below. But most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.